Hey, my name is Kasle, and in this video, I'm going to be walking you through the astrology energies, the energies of the planets, the moon, the sun, Neptune, all of the planets for the month of March. So this video is great for anyone who is interested in learning about astrology, who's new to astrology, or if you are wanting to learn more about how to start to track your own energy and your moods throughout the month and starting to understand how the planets are affecting you, your life, your energy, your mood. This is the forecast that will tell you what's going on and how it's going to affect you. So let's dive in here. First thing I'm going to show you, feel free to take a screenshot of this, by the way. When I was going through this last night, these are all of the big movements of the planets throughout the month that I noted, and we're going to kind of talk through today. Now, there are a couple of days that I want you to go in your calendar, pull it out right now, whether you use Google Calendar, you keep a little notebook, and put a big star on these days. The first one, we have our spring equinox. It's crazy that we're already here, right? On March 20th. The sun moves into Aries at 11:33 Eastern Time. What a powerful number. I've been seeing this number around a lot lately. The ones stand for your intuition, that you are following the energy, watching the signs well. And the threes stand for creativity and communication. So it could mean that communications about things you've needed answers on, or people that need to communicate with you are coming in. So good communication, good creativity energy is happening. Okay, so mark this date, March 20th. Again, feel free to take a screenshot of this page. Then the huge date this month, there are two, but this is the biggest one, March 22nd and the time that I'm looking at in the chart is 3:37 p.m. Central Time. So 4:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific. The other date is March 30th. This is going to be another big day. So let's look at the charts now and what all of this means. Okay, so here is an astrology chart. And I have this set right now I am filming this on March 7th. It is 1:58 here, so I'm just a little bit before, but I chose this time because it's midday and it's kind of good to see where all the planets are in the middle of the day. So where we are starting, the first half of this month, there's going to be a lot of Aquarius energy, a lot of Pisces energy, and then we've got a little bit of fire and earth to balance it out. So our elements energies are fairly balanced, but let's talk about all this Aquarius and Pisces that we're going to feel. Remember that I always explain astrology like a sentence. The zodiacs are the adjectives. The houses, this 1 through 12 in the middle, are the nouns. They describe the areas of life. It's like the hero's journey. You come in, you have your ego in the self, then you move through the areas of your life like money, mind, home, your heart, your health, relationships, merging of money, homes, intimacy. The ninth house is about exploration, higher learning, travel, career, like groups of people, how you yourself relate to groups of people. And then finally, how you relate to the broader universe, where you find God and spirituality and the meanings of the universe, essentially. So, okay, those are the 12 houses. And so we associate the houses with the zodiac signs. That is where the houses originally come from. So when we have all this Aquarius energy, it is forward thinking. It's your genius level thinking. It is groups of people, how groups of people are affected. It's the futurist. It's thinking ahead. It's odd, quirky, and different. And then we have Pisces, which is the very end. Remember, that's where you discover how you relate to the rest of the universe. You find God, you find the meaning of the universe before you die, and you start the process over again. So we have a lot of this energy at the end of the zodiac sign that is very forward thinking. There's a lot of energy here that if you tap into your spiritual gifts, then it will help guide you forward. Pisces is interesting too because it is the dreamer. I'm a triple Pisces. I'm a Sun, Moon, Mercury, Pisces. So I know this energy well. The sign of the fish, the double fish, it's two fish. So with Pisces, you can always go two ways. You can either go the spiritual, godly, divine way, or you can fall into the trap of delusion and illusion and fall from the grace of God, essentially. So with all of this Pisces energy, you need to be discerning. You need to use your intuition. Be discerning about the people that you're around. That's also what all of the Aquarius energy symbolizes in the first half of the month. And that anything that's coming in now is really for your future. It's looking ahead to your future. The people that you are around matter a lot in the first half of this month. So let's kind of look. I'll show you how the planets move. So we start here on the 7th. Most of the regular planets, some of these things are little asteroids that I kind of keep an eye on, but the major planets are all sitting on this one side of the zodiac sign here. And we move here. Okay, the moon moves into Gemini. The moon starts to move, but everything else kind of stays over here. Let's see here. Something to note. Okay, so we get to the 9th. Mercury moves to 29 degrees, and we're going to see it's going to sit here. By the end of the month, it's going to sit here. Anytime we see a planet move into a new sign, and especially when it reaches this 29th degree, the 29th degree usually means some sort of death and transformation. It has learned all the lessons of this zodiac sign or house. It is transforming, and then it moves into fresh new energy. So on this day, Mercury represents communication. There's going to be something around moving from genius level thinking about how you interact and communicate with people, into dreamland from the 9th to the 10th. Also, Vesta, which represents commitments, has been hanging out on Pluto. Where do you need to completely transform your commitments? What new commitments are you making for this year? It's sitting at 29 degrees here in Capricorn, so that's commitments to business and money and work, especially long-term business commitments, and it's going to move into Aquarius to make commitments to people instead, groups of people. So we get to the 10th. This is where the cluster, oh my God, of Aquarius starts. We have Vesta, Mars, Venus, which are still hanging out just a degree apart. Kind of interesting that we have Icarus here too. Icarus is the story of the father that built the wings out of glue and feathers for his son, sent his son off to fly to the earth, and the whole thing melted and fell apart. And unfortunately, the son died. So just be careful here with Icarus that whatever it is, Mars, remember, is our going forward, our doing energy. And Venus are the things that make us feel good and comfortable in life, like pleasures of life, that whatever you're going after, you are not blinded by the sun. We also have Juno, which is marriage energy. Since we have this Vesta and Juno, I wouldn't be surprised if people are thinking about marriage along with Saturn and Mercury. Saturn, the things we need to look at to kind of grow up. Saturn is a limiting energy, but remember, it shows you where are your limits so that you can grow and push past them and evolve to your next level. That's what Saturn is there to teach us. And we have this Mercury, which has moved into Pisces. Okay, so we have all of this. The sun is starting to approach Neptune here, moving forward. Okay, March 12th, Sun-Neptune Day. Oh my gosh, this is going to be another day that you could mark kind of as a minor day this month, March 12th. This will feel amazing if you are in tune with spiritual energy, with your spiritual gifts. If you don't know yet what your Claire whatever skill is, your Neptune shows in our birth chart what our spiritual channeling abilities are, where they lie. So come and do a reading with me if you would like to know and you haven't figured that out yet. But if you are tuned into this is going to be a super day to follow your intuition. And it's happening at 22 degrees, which has been a really strong degree marker. Of course, we just had that February 22nd, 2022, these big 2-2 numbers that have been coming up. We had the Mars-Venus conjunction at 22 degrees of Capricorn a couple weeks ago too. So this 22, there's something magical about it. Just a note, 22, it's called the master architect, the master number. Whenever we do name numerology, 11 and 22 are the two master numbers that we keep. And the master architect is the one who can build like their huge dream world on Earth. So if you are tuned into your spiritual gifts, this is going to be a magical day, especially because we have Jupiter here as well. Moving forward. Okay, so now, just to note here, the moon is in the first half of this month starting to move around. Here, we're going to get some squares over to the Aries energy, but it's not until it comes into Leo and Virgo here. We've got this nice trine on the 12th. From Cancer to Pisces. That's just really feel good energy. If you start to track, I have a moon app, so I watch it goes through each sign for about 2 to 2.5 days. You can start to see where in your own chart is the moon either conjuncting, squaring, or opposing. And if you start following it throughout the month, you'll notice days of the month where you are moodier or happier and feel good than others. So interesting. You can also use that to plan meetings and events. I certainly do. Okay, so we're moving now. The moon hits Leo here. So when we get to the 13th, really through the 17th, when it's in Leo and then it's in Virgo, first, it's going to oppose all of this energy, all this Mars, Venus, Saturn energy. This is all doing energy, things that you're doing for your future, while your emotional self over here wants to just feel good and have fun and be creative. So you might feel a little bit of a push-pull mood-wise on these days, especially so it keeps moving and then it gets to Virgo and it's going to oppose all of the magical dreamland Pisces energy. Emotionally, a moon in Virgo is very picky, and Virgo, one of the jokes is it's like the vacuum cleaner sign, someone who wants to keep things really clean and neat. So emotionally, you might be really picky about things those days. But up here, all of this spiritual dreamy energy, the sun is still here in Pisces, is going, I just want to go and live in dreamland. So just take note of right here in the middle of this month. Emotionally, you might be feeling off compared to all of like the day-to-day tasks that you have to do. Okay, on the 19th, this is where the sun is at the last degree of Pisces, 29 degrees. So it is this last boost of the magical, dreamy energy. Be very careful on this day not to get stuck or lost in illusions. That could very well happen, especially because we have this Mercury right about to conjunct Jupiter. Jupiter's our expansive energy. So if you're getting lost, if you're having like roundabout thoughts and conversations with people, like take a step back, step away and say, let me go ground myself, think about things logically. Let me go take some space, take a walk, see what ideas come through, and then come back if you start to end up in some of those sorts of conversations. Now, March 20th, we reach the spring equinox. That'll feel good because now the sun it's exalted here in Aries. It's going to be this very fiery energy. It's going to be a lot of like doing energy. Spring is here now, which is going to be nice. The days will be longer too. So then before we get to this March 22nd, Mercury is passing over Jupiter on these days. Okay. That just means, as I mentioned a minute ago, communication, you could have a lot of instances these days where you are thinking of someone and then they like call you automatically. If you're very in tune with some people in your life in that way, you could have a lot of magical communication synchronicities on these days. You can also get lost in delusion. So just be careful about that. But Mercury passes over. Just another note. The day of the spring equinox, we have the moon down here in Scorpio passing over the nodes. So luckily by the time we get to the later part of the month, the moon will be coming back towards all of this energy and it'll kind of melt into all of this energy. And when it comes and sits here on this south node, it's going to be in Quincux, which that energy, it's like an odd energy. Okay, let me see here. Let me take you to this. Let's go back for a second. Let me show you guys this view. Okay. So here is the 20th. This is that magical day when we have all of this stuff over here in Aquarius. So this is the spring equinox. And this is when the moon, because it's sitting at 0 we have both the sun and the moon at 0 degrees, quincunxing exactly at the same time. What that means, and especially Aries and Scorpio are both very intense energies. Scorpio is that energy that's like sitting in the back of the room, kind of looking around at everyone. Everyone might be a little bit like intimidated by that person because they don't say much, but when they do, man, it like stings. It goes right to the depths of things. So emotionally, you could be feeling that intensity inside. And we have the Aries, like fighter, go do it energy happening at the same time. And that energy could come forth in kind of an odd, weird way. Just like expect interesting things to happen that day. Okay, going forward here to the 22nd. So let me just make sure that I point out to you all that I wanted to share on this day. Mars in Aquarius here at 12 degrees is squaring Uranus and Taurus exact. So we have this Mars at 12 degrees and it makes a square here to Uranus. So we've got the war energy of Mars squaring the freedom-fighting rebellion energy of Uranus. And Mars is thinking about the people. It's thinking about the ideas that are going to affect everyone in the future, that will make everyone's lives better in the future. And Uranus in Taurus is making sure that whatever it is you're doing is grounded in the values and the standards and the morals that you believe in. So again, this has to do a lot with the people you surround yourself with. So if you are in a group of people right now, especially because the North Node and Uranus are in Taurus, which represents our values and our morals. So if you are around people who do not share the same values and morals, things will not feel comfortable right now and you will not manifest easily. This is like one of my biggest pieces of advice for this season, especially as the nodes will stay here for another 16 months in the sign of Taurus. What else do we have? We have Saturn and the North Node. So the North Node's here at 23. Let me do this in a different color. It's not exact, but it's close, just within that 2 degrees, is squaring the nodes. So this is a little bit of a similar energy. It's whatever you are building here with Saturn, it needs to be in line with your values and morals. And on days like this, there could be challenges with that Saturn that come up to test your values, to test how badly you want something. With the Pisces energy, if you tap into your intuition, with Pisces, it's also surrendering. You surrender your wants to God. You pray, you do your rituals, you tap into that energy. If you surrender, you ask for support from the divine, you're going to make it through. But you might be tested on these days. The moon will enter Sag here. Sag is such a feel-good energy. It's like kind of it's a very happy person. They're very optimistic about life. So that'll be, and the moon is trining, it's trining the sun, it's trining Neptune. So at least mood-wise, we have that moon supporting us in kind of this feel-good energy. And the South Node, so that's what we feel comfortable with, the lessons we've already learned. You don't necessarily need to think about this stuff when the moon, or the South Node is in this sign. It exactly trines Neptune here because it's at 23 degrees. Yeah. And Neptune is at 23 degrees. So that is, again, more signs. The more you tap into your gifts, clairaudient, clairvoyant, the more you stick to your routines of, I'm going to get up and say my prayers, do my yoga, do my morning meditation. All of those things are going to help you out right now. And what's really cool about this day from the 22nd to the 23rd is Neptune is going to pass right over, Mercury is going to pass over Neptune. So that is even strengthening even more. We have all of this cool energy to support our spiritual, what I call sixth sense gifts here. So tap into those, please. Okay. Moving forward, what is my next one that I got? The 30th. Yeah, we're not quite there yet. Let's go here. So, okay, we're at this 21st. We just went through this big day on the 22nd. Now, the moon moving through here. We keep going. When we get to the 25th here, the moon in Capricorn is squaring the sun and Chiron in Aries. Kind of in the early parts of the day, it'll square this and this guy. So that's going to kind of feel like a pull, a tug between what are you thinking about and feeling into for your financial future, for your business, and the actions you need to take. There might be some things like answers about problems in business where you need solutions, where you're just going to need to like wait for this energy to get into Aquarius. Wait a day or two. And it'll exactly trine Uranus. So as long as you're sticking to your standards and morals, things will go well. Okay, on the 26th, so Mercury in the last 10, 12 days has made it through Pisces. I have natally, which means the moment that I was born, that's your natal birth chart, Mercury at 29 degrees. I still don't exactly know where that's really going to hit for me in my life. It'll show up at some point. But it's the last degree of the zodiac sign. It is the final moment of enlightenment and bliss before you die, transform, and you start the process again. So on that day, communication-wise, just pay attention to what comes through. We could be given some really good news on this day, March 26th. Okay, then March 27th, Mercury moves into Aries, so then we'll start thinking really quickly. The moon is now in early Aquarius. It's going to pass over all of this Aquarius energy. We've got 28th. Let's see. Aha, okay. So on this day, finally, we've got this Saturn and Venus conjunct here in Aquarius. I also have this natally, so I know this energy well. This is a stubbornness for what it is you really want. I am someone who knows exactly what I want most of the time. And when I know exactly what I want, it's like the easiest example I can give is when I go shopping. I either love the piece that I find or I'm like, no, I put it away. It knows exactly what it wants. It's really stubborn about getting it. I get really frustrated when there are things that I want and Saturn is here blocking the things that I want. So you could feel that, especially with the moon passing over it. There could be some stubbornness on this day. But the next day, the moon moves into Pisces and it'll be like, okay, things are better. I can come back into dreamland again. And then the last day that I would take note of, and even at this time, we have this moon exactly conjunct Neptune. And we've kind of got this tie here between Jupiter, the moon, and Neptune. So this whole last month, there is so much in the astrology that can bring you such amazing, magical gifts. We're never again in our lives going to see Jupiter and Neptune in their home signs of Pisces. So this is the time to tap into the magic, to tap into your prayers, your intentions, your meditations, and soak up as much energy as you can. Get a meditation group together. Come to my meditation group, Smash Class, every Tuesday and Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. We are in this class creating a vortex of energy that it's just like getting into the flow state. Stephen Kotler has proven that when you get into the flow state, the effects of reaching that state last for 1 to 2 days. Same thing with coming to a meditation group where you raise the energy of that group. You all benefit from it for the next couple of days. And you get into that flow, you get into that vortex, and it follows you after the class. So amazing energy here with the moon passing over all of this. Mars is getting closer to Saturn here. We've got Saturn, Juno, and Venus all tied. Thinking about those relationships. What's going to support you long term? The 31st, the moon moves into Aries. and it's going to pass over this Sun and Chiron. And then just to note, to finish this up, when we reach April 1st, the Sun and Chiron conjunct exact. This will be another interesting day to watch. Chiron is our wounds. It's what needs to be healed. So this in the world could bring up something, not that we need to add something else to heal in this world, but pretty big time. The Sun will put a spotlight on it big time for whatever needs to be looked at. So those are my big notes for the month. I hope that this has helped you out, and I hope that you have started to look and see and follow, like as the moon goes around, as different planets move around and hit your chart, can you start to notice how those things affect your life? Because they do. At this point, I have studied enough astrology and gone back and looked at my life and went, oh my God, this is just spot on for the things that have happened in my life. And if you would like to know more about your birth chart, if you need to learn about your natal birth chart, or maybe you have an idea already and you want to start using it to plan ahead, or you want to dig into your past and you want to know why certain things in the past happened to your life, we can do all of those type of sessions. Go to my Calendly link, calendly.com/Kelly Kasle, and you can book a session there. So I will see you for the April session. Leave a comment for what you learned, and I'll see you next time.